Good evening. I bring you many greetings from my Aisha Speaks Jade Facebook page. I am none other than Aisha, also known as Jade, and I am doing a makeup live audio for Friday, December the 21st, 2018. I know it's been a little while, but thank you guys for reaching out to me. It's just been really a journey. But life is a journey anyway, good, bad, or indifferent. And so I've kind of been really falling behind due to, just like I said, some just life. So I'm going to do my best. Let me say that in advance. I know there's a few more days until we reach 2019, and I'm going to do my best to do as many makeup live audios as I can. Once I reach the new year for 2019, I'm just going to move forward and do all starting fresh 2019 videos and or audio. So whatever I don't complete in 2018, it is okay. But I really thank you guys for the journey that you've been, for those that have been following me from day one, or you've been following me for a while. So let me just jump right into it. Again, I am doing a makeup live audio for Friday, December the 21st, 2018. And what I would like to speak on is 5 small changes that will make you a much better communicator. 5 small changes that will make you a much better communicator. So your success depends on your communication skills. And we're just going to jump right in on how that can be effective. So ask yourself, could you be more effective at communication? I know I can. I believe a lot of us. No one's perfect, and sometimes our communication is good and other times it's not, verbal or nonverbal. Because communication is not just with mouth. A lot of times our communication can show by just body language, facial expressions, and of course, verbal. So there's different varieties. So I know that there's definitely room for improvement in communication for me. For most of us, the answer is yes. If you're honest with yourself, you can say yes, communication could be better. And business leaders in particular need stellar communication skills to be effective. So whether you are working for corporate America, you have your own business, you're a freelancer, entrepreneur, however you identify as, communication is definitely key and there's always room for improvement. Some of the problems we continue to encounter as leaders day after day, or owners, business owners, or what have you, originate because of a failure in communications. The good news is that many of these problems can be solved by improving our communications. Okay. And there is an app. There's an app. It is an app, but it's also a website. And it's called Pocket Mentor. Make sure you guys look that up and check it out and see if there's something that can benefit you. Again, it's called Pocket Mentor. Pocket and then Mentor, Mentor. So it's an app and a website that provides aspiring leaders with daily advice and action plans. But while most leaders need to get better at communications, few have the time to take communications or speaking courses or even undergo lengthy training to improve their communication skills. So, if that sounds like you, the good news is that most leaders can improve their communication skills with a few relatively easy changes. So, let us jump right into that. So the first one would be identify and make peace with your own communications style. You may wish you were a great orator or one of those people who radiates such warmth that everyone wants to hug you. but maybe that's not who you are. And if not, that's okay. Rather than try to jam yourself into a mold that may not fit, figure out what your own communication strengths are. So, as with most anything, understanding ourselves, our strengths, weaknesses, and our tendencies gives us insight and direction that result in faster progress than when we don't take the time for self-discovery. So, to explore your own strengths and weaknesses, there is this quiz at the Leadership IQ or a quiz at Mind Tools. So again, if you want to quiz yourself, right, on your own strengths, and weaknesses, you can do it through either Leadership IQ, or you can quiz yourself at Mind, MIND, Tools, TOOLS. So once you more fully understand your own communication style, you can leverage that style and play to your strengths to give both your spoken and written communications more power. Okay, because you want to always do your best to have that power. And again, communication is key to everything. So the second one would be learn to be a really good listener. And I know a lot of us may struggle with that. People say more than enough for me. I'm this really good listener type of person. And it's not about me patting myself on the back, but I hear it a lot. I guess I am. I don't really think about it, to be honest with you. But learning to be a really good listener. The best communicators all have one thing in common. They are great listeners and astute in their observations. They're very key. They're very in tune in their observations. Fortunately, that's a skill anyone can develop or improve. So whether or not you're working for corporate America or you have your own business and you have employees, do you have weekly management or staff meetings? And more importantly, how effective are they, right? Be more intentional in these meetings and notice what is being said and not said. When you commit to bring a more intentional listener and asking more questions, you will learn a surprising amount about the people who work with you, your projects, your customers, and even yourself. It's worth taking a few moments after key conversations each day to ask yourself, what did you learn? Did you learn anything from this meeting, or was it just a waste of time? And, you should be able to, if you're not satisfied with something or don't agree on something, to be able to speak up. And a lot of these corporate Americas, they like to make you feel less than, make you feel like you can't speak up, especially, these management people. And it's not all management, but it's enough management, right? You get in these meetings and they're so busy. We have strengths and weakness, but it always seems a lot of time how they like to focus more on what you're not doing versus what you do, right? So you should be able to speak up. It's okay. So anyway, or do this once a day and write it down, right? Asking yourself that question, what did you learn from that meeting? Again, you can write it down. You can do it once a day. You can do this once a day and write it down. It creates space for you to gain powerful insights you will use as you lead. It's just the idea. If you don't feel like it's going to work, it's okay. It's just something I'm throwing out there. Number 3, know what you want to achieve with every communications. This sounds pretty simple, right? But it is easier said than done. It's a shame because that lack of clarity and clear objectives derails or it prolongs many conversations, meetings, and even projects. To avoid having this happen, spend enough time before the communication to gain clarity. Ask yourself if your objective is to inform, empower, or persuade. Do you need to address a group or an individual? And who is your audience and why do they care? Now that you're clear on your objective, get there in as straight a line as you can. Be specific rather than general. Be concise rather than delivering information that may be complex or confusing. Expect the same from the people who work for you as well. So once you know your objective, begin your conversation either in person, over the phone, by video conference, or in email with your key point. So again, you can keep those different options as a thought. The fourth one would be find a role model. One of the quickest ways to improve your skills is to find someone who models the skills you want. So this week, think of 2 to 3 people, if you can, who have had an impact on you in their communications. These can be people you admire or have worked with, or those whom you may not have even met. Once you picked your role models or mentor, figure out what appeals to you about their communications. Can you identify the qualities in their communications that make them so effective? So, why did these 2 talks become viral hits? And TED Talks they're pretty cool. TED Talks are really cool. But yes, perhaps a role model or mentor could be someone that you haven't even met yet. And again, it could be, I don't know, TED Talks. They're really pretty cool. Body language plays a big role. But as always, it's all about doing your research. Find someone who is authentic, honesty, knowing themselves, telling their story, and having a good blend of facts and emotion that help them better connect with their audience. And lastly, number 5, get personal. One quick idea you can borrow from these effective communicators is the power of personal stories. So add a few of your own to your communications toolkit and tell them often in order to get better at storytelling. I found another toolkit, y'all. So we have our self-care toolkit, right? Because it's yours and only you. Self-care toolkit. You have your spiritual toolkit. And now you can create a communications toolkit. So ask yourself questions like I've spoken on, and how your answers can illustrate or inspire your audience. Many of the challenges we face as leaders can be improved when we improve our communications. So if you are intentional and make it a priority, you can become a great communicator. So I hope that was insightful. I hope it was helpful. Perhaps it was a reminder. Maybe you could care less. I really don't know, but I'm sure that it's going to interest someone. Okay. So make sure that you check out some of the resources that I spoke on, as far as one being doing that quiz, which is either from Leadership IQ or Mind Tools. Another was Pocket Mentor, which is an app and a website for aspiring leaders who may want some daily advice and action plans. If you haven't checked out yet, check out some TED Talks. Those are really cool to listen to. There is an individual, there's a professor by the name of Amy Cuddy, Cuddy. Or you can also look at another person is Brene, Brene. If I'm saying it incorrectly, my apologies in advance. Brene Brown, Brown. And I mean, excuse me. Excuse me. There's plenty of great podcasts out here. So get yourself connected. And again, when you own up that, check yourself. It's all about checking yourself, right? You can't say that you're good at everything, because that's just false. Sorry to have to wake you up about that, but communication is definitely key. You can always improve. Life is about improving and evolving and being enlightened every day. So do yourself that favor. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you in advance for listening to the replay. I invite you guys to my social media platform, which I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and I have a YouTube channel. You can find me on all of them under Aisha Speaks Jade. Again, that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and my YouTube channel, Aisha Speaks Jade, which you can go on that channel and subscribe by hitting the thumbnail, hit the notification bell for updates. You can go and like and join my other pages, leave comments, feedbacks, good, bad, or indifferent. Just don't be disrespectful. Again, make sure that you create that communications toolbox, that spiritual toolbox, and that self-care toolbox, which you should do every single day. Loving yourself, respecting yourself. No New Year's resolutions, just continue your goals. Or if you haven't, start your goals. Create your greatness and create your happiness. Follow your passions and your dreams. Hold yourself up high like the gods and goddesses, kings and queens that we are. And be good to yourself. Always remember to, every day you wake up, to be appreciative and blessed and humble and grateful and thankful. And with that being said, I say enjoy the rest of your evening or wherever you are at globally. Much positive vibes and energy. Ashe and Namaste.